Welcome to the Wally Show Precast, all the stuff that normally happens before the podcast that we just actually are doing today because we don't have a podcast because we are in pledge drive. We've had some potties going online and supporting the Ministry of Way FM, which I absolutely love. Thank you, potties. You totally rule. And we are Facebook Living this as well today, as always.
And for those who wondered yesterday, yes, we are in a different room. It's not just you going crazy.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It is literally smaller. But Jonathan was our potty today that got involved. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
WayFM.com is a way that you can give and keep this goodness hopefully going if you like the show. That would be awesome. We got some birthdays to get to, like this from Cheryl. It says, my beautiful daughter, Abby, is turning 12. Could you, Betty, Becca, and Zach wish her a happy birthday? Why, absolutely we can. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
There you go,
Yay.
Abby. You totally rule. She sent in a picture with Abby and her guinea pig. Very cute. there.
Aw, so
What's the
cute.
guinea pig's name?
I don't know. I don't know that it says. Let me see here.
It looks like a pickle.
He does look like a pickles. You could, maybe
Wow.
you could name guinea pigs too.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We found one other facet of this.
Yeah. Our question is, what is the best advice you have for a sixth grader on how to make homework fun? Oh, wow.
That's impossible.
Yeah. Not to depress you, Abby, but Betty is in school and says homework is impossible.
Okay, so I had this on one of my scoops a while back, and everyone made fun of me.
Okay.
But I think I'll bring it back because perhaps it could help this
Oh,
woman.
guinea pig's name is Rosie. Sorry, just figured that out.
Rosie.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Who is sadly in heaven now. Uh-oh,
Oh.
sorry. I should read a little more ahead of these things. All right, continue, Betty Rock.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay. I think what she needs to do is you have a bag of Skittles and you put one Skittle at the end of each paragraph that you have to read.
I like it.
So you can treat yourself every time. Treat yourself every time you get done with something.
Treat yourself.
Like a reading assignment
That's a
or
good
even
idea.
like a math assignment. Like you do a problem, get a Skittle.
It'd be fun if you were in a personal fitness class and you're reading every paragraph and eating Skittles,
Hey,
and by the end of it, you actually weighed
more to
than.
burn.
I know, yeah, exactly. That's a really good idea. I used to, I would sit at my desk at home and I would do homework and I would set like that a certain amount that I'd have to read or a certain amount of problems I'd have to get done. And then my mom would give me like a chance to go out and run around the house and just take a little break in between to kind of break up the monotony of it.
That was for her sake.
Oh
not
yeah,
yours.
for 100%.
I have a tip. If for some reason, it's more fun to write on a dry erase board. So maybe get a dry erase board for doing math problems.
Oh.
If you don't have a dry erase board, you can use a mirror as long as you use a dry erase marker. Or if you have a glass coffee table, put something underneath the glass coffee table and work out your math problems on that.
Underneath it? That'd be
No,
kind
no,
of funny.
on the
Oh.
glass.
Be awesome. You know that on aircraft carriers, have you ever seen movies where they have aircraft carriers and there's this big glass thing of
Yeah.
like a wall? They're trained to write backwards.
Oh.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, there are certain guys, like a guy that stands on one side of the thing, he is trained to write everything backwards so that the people on the other side see it normally. And
I feel
that's
like I could
their
do that
gift.
pretty well.
Do you really?
I do.
I could
Let's
not.
test it.
Yeah,
That would
we've got a
really,
whiteboard.
that would really mess up a dyslexic.
Yeah. Right on there. Oh, wait, we can't see it on the camera, but that's okay. Right on there, The Wally Show. Yeah, The Wally Show is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Okay. Yeah,
She
that's
couldn't
not
write
it.
that straight.
Yeah, yeah. So the Wally Show. That's not horrible. It goes to show you with a little bit of practice, you probably could do that. You could be in the Navy. And I don't remember why I know that. What'd you say? Oh yeah, there you go. Well, that looks like your other handwriting. Becca is the only girl that does not have girl handwriting
That's
that I've
true.
ever met.
It's really bad.
That one.
Betty.
No, Becca on this job, her job when we go on trips is to take notes of everybody we meet, and sometimes her notes are like hieroglyphics.
Okay, which isn't usually a problem because I'm good at typing up my
Right.
notes. But when Joey got sick while we were in Africa, I just gave you the notebook.
I know.
And then there's a video of you and Betty trying to decipher it.
Yeah, it was hard to figure
It's so
out.
funny.
And then this last trip that you weren't on, Betty Rock was the note taker, and she did what you did, and you guys both do an excellent job at it. But I could read your handwriting, which was actually kind of nice. Let me see. Here we go. This is let me see. This is from Roger, and Roger says, I am turning 49, not 50 yet. Thank you, Roger. Happy birthday there, big man. And he says, it's scary how similar we are. I walked away from a huge career to take my dream job for much less money. Yeah, I did that. I talk in Top Gun language. Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. My favorite movie line is from The Replacements prior to the winning drive. That's the one where he's like, chicks dig scars. Pain is temporary. Glory lasts forever. Let me see. I grew up on big hair metal bands. Also purchased a cool car I couldn't afford during high school. I teach others in addition to my real job. I love carpentry and repurposing
Holy
antiques.
cow.
This guy is me.
You guys are BFFs.
I think he's messing with you.
How much
No.
jewelry does he own?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And does he have tight, skinny jeans?
He probably does. He's cool.
But you're 50 and he's only 49.
No, still
Yeah.
49. My wife and I restore 1920s.
You're not 49, you're 48.
Oh, wait, I'm only 48. Dadgummit, you guys tricked me into that like all year long. I've been thinking I'm 49.
You're losing your mind already.
Wow.
That happens in your 50s.
Yep.
Dang it. Yes, I'm only 48. That's right. My wife just turned 49. And it says, like you, I married out of my league after 22 years of marriage. I would truly do it all over again. So please, we're not, this wasn't his birthday. Sorry about that, Roger. He's not 49 yet this year. It says, please wish my wife, Kathy, a happy 18th anniversary of her 30th birthday. So there you go. Happy birthday, Kathy. You have a great man. I can tell because he's so much like me.
boy.
Yeah. All right. So my big question is, it's one that me and my wife argue about all the time. Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris? Oh, obviously Chuck Norris.
Yeah, that's an
Norris.
easy one.
For sure.
Yeah, like whichever one of you is debating that, you should be ashamed.
Unless it's Kathy because it's your birthday. Then you can have
Yeah,
whatever
I have
you
a
want.
feel. I have a feeling it's probably no. I was gonna say it's probably Roger, but I could see a girl going, "Oh no, Bruce Lee makes more sense. He's actually an actual karate champ." Which Chuck Norris was supposedly a karate black belt as well, but just not.
he's
Not
Chuck
like he
Norris.
needs certification.
That's
Yeah.
true. Who could certify Chuck Norris?
Nobody.
Yeah. Is there a black belt that would actually be brave enough to go around his waist? I think not. So there you go. That's going to do it for our birthdays here. Got a couple of news stories and least of these that we're going to get to on our microcast here.
Oh, me first?
Yes,
Again?
you first.
Yay. This is a really cool story. We've seen it done a couple times, but I think it's just always a really cool thing when companies do this. There's a woman in Houston who had lost her husband, and she had the saved voicemail from him of just telling her he loved her and all of these things. And she lost him suddenly. He got a cancer diagnosis, but passed away only a month after
Oh,
that.
wow.
Yeah, and so she recently got a new phone and lost all of her saved voicemails. So she actually contacted AT&T. They were able to find it, dig through the archives,
Wow.
locate it for her, and give it to her so she could continue to hold on to that for the rest of her life.
That is really, really cool that they would take the time to do that because that's easy to say no to. Sorry, we can't find it.
Is that more touching or creepy, though?
Oh, did they
Oh,
have all
They're
of
it's
that?
holding on to
touching.
all of your voicemails.
Yeah. Oh, no. They have all that stuff.
Yeah.
That doesn't creep me out at all because, like,
It's on
who's
servers.
and who's gonna take the time to go through that? And like, I'm not gonna be that big of a criminal someday where they're gonna have to. And if I am, then I deserve it. Like, I just, it's sweet because I know that's not an easy thing. Like, here it is. Like,
Right.
they actually have to do some digging once it's been erased or it's moved on to a new phone.
We actually had a situation like that here with a lady and her son that called during our
Yes.
last pledge drive, and her son was sick, and they called, and just this cute little kid, and sadly, her son passed away, and just obviously devastating for that family. And she had called us and said, "Hey, is there any way you could find that audio of him on the show with you guys? We'd love to hear that again and have that." And we were actually able to find it. I think Steve, that works with us, was able to go back and find the audio and give it to them. It's just kind of a healing moment for them. And that's one of the best things I'm sure he did this year. Maybe even the only thing.
But I think of that like when Joey leaves me sweet voicemails. Like, I want to hang on to it just for me, when he's here, but like just that, like, what if something were to happen? Like, I want to be able to have that.
Yeah. I have emails saved of Betty Rock calling me a butt.
I don't recall that.
But that's the thing that if heaven forbid anything
know.
were to happen to her, you'd be like,
I know. There
That
it
was
is.
us.
Oh, there's Betty.
that was us.
What else you got?
This is bad news for me. A new study found that the average public pool contains up to 20 gallons of urine.
No.
I knew it.
And
I
hot tubs
knew
are
it.
way worse. Okay, now
You
bef-
go swimming.
I do go swimming, and I'm
Ew.
not very
You're
good.
bathing in
Like, I
urine.
definitely drink some chlorine every day. But here's the thing, and like the public pool, the size that they tested, it has 220,000 gallons in it.
Doesn't
What's
matter.
20 gallons?
What's 20 gallons that you're swimming through? That's 20 gallons. That's still.
Ugh.
Urine in pools has never really
and let
like
me also
freaked me
put
out.
this out there. Imagine where that water has been. It's been in a lot of places. Do you get what I'm saying?
Nope.
There's a lot of swimmers. The water is going around everybody. It's like you're swimming in a bath of strangers.
It's a
But it's
220,000 gallon pool.
No.
Filled with soap.
I will
Yeah.
say
No,
the
it's
one
not.
thing.
That's what chlorine is.
Yeah, it
Uh-uh.
Well, then why
sanitizes it.
didn't it kill the chlorine?
Well,
I
what
mean,
they
the urine.
tested,
It
what
does.
they found was they tested. There's an artificial sweetener that is used in a lot of processed foods, and your body doesn't break it down. So that's what they were able to find. It's not like literal urine. It was just this leftover element that maybe the chlorine didn't even kill. But I will say the one thing that has grossed me out, I was swimming laps one day and I got to the end of my lap and the lifeguard's standing there. So I look up and she's like, ma'am, you need to get out of the pool. We need to clean up the vomit.
Oh.
And I didn't go back for a week because like I thought of going and I'm like, well, nope,
that's
can't do
bad.
that.
I always hated when I was a kid. You'd be swimming around, you'd get to the side of the pool, and you'd hang on the side to just rest, and there'd be like a Band-Aid, and you're like,
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, yeah, that's
Or
bad.
there's other things that
Yeah,
are worse actually.
public pools. No, thank you. No, thank you. Did you have one more story?
I do, and this one's interesting. Almost 2 years ago, Joe Biden's son, Bo, passed away from brain cancer. Well, now his widow is actually dating somebody, her brother-in-law or her former brother-in-law.
Yeah,
it's
her-
Bo's brother.
What?
Yeah,
so
it's like a
Joe
Hallmark
Biden's other
movie.
son.
No, that's not. That's not a
Okay,
Hallmark movie.
it feels like I think it's one of those headlines that at first you're like, oh, like she's dating the
On
brother
the
of
surface, you wince.
Right, you wince, but then you dig a little deeper, and like Joe and his wife Jill are behind it. They're saying, we're lucky they found each other as they're putting their lives back together, and that's what they're saying is that like we have this common experience of mourning this person, like that draws you together, and so only those two can really understand like how they've gotten through this together.
It would be weird though in some ways. It's kind of historical too. Like in the Bible, when a man would die, the wife would become the property of the brother. And that's happened for years. And so like
in another culture still too.
Yeah, exactly. So I get it on that level, but it does kind of feel weird. And like I would think it would depend on the family.
Yeah.
And if you know the situation, like, did they have a happy marriage and it was, then these people worked through grief together and then they found out they had a lot in common and fell in love? Or was there always that, like, looking at the other brother during their marriage kind of thing? Like, that would be weird.
And here's the other thing too: people walk through terminal illness differently. We knew a woman who she knew she was dying, and she actually pointed out the woman that she wanted her husband to date. Which it feels weird to me, but I have never been through that personally.
Right.
And so I just think everyone kind of deals with things differently. Like I kind of have a dark sense of humor, so I kind of try to joke my way through different things. I know you do, Wally.
Yes.
But everyone just kind of processes differently and grieves differently. And so it seems odd, but I would trust, especially if his parents are behind
Yeah,
it.
they're okay with it.
Then that's what it needs to be.
I actually had a friend of mine that she went through this process.
Really?
Really?
Yes. Her dad passed away when she was 5, and he had told her mom that if anything happens to me, I want you to marry my brother.
Really?
Yeah, he had been through a divorce, and he wasn't. Of course, it's his brother's sister. I mean, his brother's wife. He's not interested at all. But he told her, if something happens to me, that's what I want you to do. And she said no. And it took her a couple years, but eventually they did get married.
No, they did not.
So now my friend's cousins are her stepsister and stepbrother,
Mhm.
and her stepdad was her uncle.
That doesn't even strike me as odd for you being able to explain that. I fully understand, like, and especially like that makes sense that is people that that their stepbrothers, sisters is
Oh
their
my
daddy's cousin's
goodness.
mother on their like.
Crooked
mean,
family trees or not.
Yes.
All the trees grow
it is-
crooked.
I mean, it just worked out.
Yeah, it did
So
work
yay for
out.
them.
All right, let's go to some least of these.
I've got a top list of the 10 highest grossing Christian themed movies.
Can we guess?
And guess what? Kirk Cameron is not involved.
No, that's
I know.
crazy. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Kurt Cameron is not on the list.
How is that possible? Didn't he
No.
have Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas? How did that not make number one? Let me see if we can guess.
Okay.
What is that movie with Nicolas Cage that he did that was the Left Behind? Did that make the list?
No.
Passion of the Christ had to
That
make the
has to be
list.
on
Oh, for sure. It was
That's
number
mean-
2.
Number
Oh,
2?
I thought it'd be number 1.
No, it's
Okay,
number
well,
2.
Okay, hang on a second. So that's number 2. Mom's Night Out. Did that make the
That
list?
should be on there. That was a good
That was
movie.
a good one.
No.
Priceless.
Price. Which one was that one?
The one that just came out with For King and Country. Probably didn't make that
Oh,
list.
no.
Okay.
Chronicles of Narnia.
No.
That's a good.
Oh.
Oh,
That has to be on there.
They
That's
didn't-
crazy.
Well,
I'm
here's
calling
the thing,
shenanigans.
They didn't label it as.
They
a-
didn't know
could-
the lion was Jesus.
So,
I could see
get
that one not be.
I get that.
Yeah, because you just figured that out like a year ago.
Yeah, seriously. Really? Aslan's Jesus? I thought it was just a talking lion. Oh, I get it now. All right, so give me the list, starting from number 10.
Well, I only wrote the 5.
Atta girl. Starting from number 5.
Okay, so number 5 was War Room.
Oh, this is what I call my war room.
That's
Were you in it?
surprising to me.
Yeah, that's pretty good imitation.
Are you the
is it
guy
not?
on?
No, it's not Yoda. That was the
Oh.
lady from War Room. And this I calls it me war room.
Me warm.
Sounds like Lord of the
Me
Rings.
War Room?
Yes, my war room. Sorry.
I have me Lucky Charms.
Number 4 was Heaven is for Real.
Oh, are you
No,
kidding me?
I expect that though because I think that's something that everyone's curious about. Even if you don't have a system of beliefs, I think that that's something people are curious
Can
about.
I
there's a
just say
book.
that movie
Yeah.
was horrible?
I never saw it.
Horrible.
But I could see people being curious about it.
They had the weirdest relationship between I think was it Greg Kinnear again that was in that? I forget. Between the husband and the preacher dad and the wife. Like they wanted to show them as normal, you know? And so like they tried to create this flirty relationship with them and he's all like and it was so bizarre and such a sidetrack to what the plot of the movie was about. It was weird.
Huh. Number 3 was Noah.
The recent one?
Yeah.
With
Oh,
like
that's
rock
weird.
monsters or something? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it
horrible.
pulled in $102.8 million.
What?
The Passion of the Christ.
Okay.
And number
What's number
2.
1?
Number 1 was the 1959 version of Ben-Hur.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, the recent one bombed. But
I bet that's why they remade it though because the first one did so well. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
right.
Huh.
Ben-Hur. I'm trying to remember. I saw the recent
Isn't
one.
that the one with the guy that's now 100 years old, but he's got like a dimple?
Charlton
Charlton
Heston.
Heston. That
No,
was
no. That's the guy in
Moses.
Planet of the Apes.
or Noah. No Moses.
Not
Did-
Charlton Heston.
Did you see the animated Prince of Egypt?
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
I
yeah,
liked
with
that.
the great soundtrack.
Was it with Whitney Houston?
Yeah,
wasn't it?
or maybe it was some
Many miracles
when you
when
believe.
you believe.
That's
though
all I remember.
Hope is frail, it's hard to kill.
But it's true.
Can I just point out it was Charlton Heston
No,
is
it
in
wasn't.
Ben-Hur.
Yes.
So that crazy look you gave me, you can retract.
Yeah. Retract
I'm
your
giving
face.
it back to you.
Retract your face. Okay, I did not see that coming. All right, what's your next story?
I'm curious how the Shack will do because
Yeah.
I feel like
Me
they've put
too.
more marketing money into this than
And it looks
any
like
Christian
Yeah.
movie I've seen lately.
We have a friend that runs another Christian network, and he said that, and it's a really conservative Christian network. He was in a 4.5-hour meeting the other day about the Shack. They did a Shack promotion, and they got crushed.
like people pulling pledges,
hundreds of
donations.
people going, "We're never going to support you again.
I
It's
heard that
godless entertainment."
They're not allowing it at Lifeway stores
Oh, for
because
real?
of the personification of Christ. is what
Really?
they-
I know that's what people were
not
really
even out
bent.
yet.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, Lifeway.
Yeah, we've seen it.
book and
I
all
guess they
that.
probably saw trailers of it and just went, we're just going to avoid it. We've seen it. Like most of us on the show have seen it. I really, honestly, when I remember the book coming out and people being really mad about it, and for me, I was like, okay, I wanted to see what it was about. And the movie, it was an okay movie. Like, I didn't think it was fantastic, but it was okay. But I actually thought the personification, trying to personify God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit is these really hard to understand figures sometime. And how do you do that in a movie? I thought it was really interesting, the fact that God appeared to people, this guy, in different forms that he could handle in that moment, because just showing up as this entity and this being, you might be like, what? And then people were all upset about that. But then I think Becca pointed out that God showed up to people
In a
like,
burning bush,
yeah.
a pillar of fire,
yeah,
like a
like
cloud by day. But I do think that a lot of the frustration too is that I've heard from multiple people who've read the book that the book is way more controversial with those things and way more like, ooh, is this blasphemous? I don't know.
And I get that. So go see
totally.
the movie then. Don't just go, it's all bad without seeing it.
But not reading the book and seeing the movie, there wasn't anything that made me go, ooh, I
Yeah, I
don't know
didn't
how I
wince.
feel about this. No, and it's very the cinematography is really pretty. Like there's just some really pretty moments in it.
I personally thought that the God character that it was Octavia Spencer that played that, right? Holy cow, she's phenomenal. Like what a great actress. And I thought that part was really, really cool. And even the Jesus character I thought was great. The Holy Spirit I was on, not in my personal life, but just as a character, I was kind of like, okay, I kind of get it. I think the Holy Spirit kind of gets the shaft, like just in general. I don't think people fully understand that character, but I thought the Jesus thing was actually really well.
Yeah, and I think
done.
if people approach the movie as it's an allegory, it's a story,
Right.
we're pulling principles from it,
Right.
they're going to love it. I think if they go to it for, all right, this is a Bible lesson and it needs to, like, everything needs to literally be, straight from the Bible, they're
Right.
going to
Theologically
It's a flannelgram
Yeah.
at Sunday school. No.
If you're looking to have something that inspires you to think about things differently, you'll like it. If you're looking for a sermon,
You're not going to like it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Betty Rock, one more. What you got?
So the cast of Dancing with the Stars of the
Da, 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 da,
the
da,
24th
da,
season
da, da, da,
was announced
da, da, da.
yesterday. So here is a list of some of them. Olympic gymnast Simon Biles.
Simone.
Simon Biles, yes.
Simone
Simone
Biles.
says.
Nancy Kerrigan.
Ooh, they have to have Tanya Harding on too. How fantastic would that be?
awkward.
I hope they do a Tanya Harding themed dance.
They
Where,
have
like,
to.
She gets hit in the knee. I'm sure they'll cover it because they always do backstories before
Right.
they dance.
And they always do a dance, like their first one out, that kind of sets up who they
Yeah,
are. They
represents
have to
them.
have somebody come out and pretend to whack her in the knee, and then like she dances off it. Yeah, I think that'd be fantastic.
Mr. T.
Ah, pity the
Also,
fool.
The Glee star Heather Morris, along with Bachelor Nick.
Oh, boo! That's ABC. That's why.
David Ross, a former Cubs catcher.
And World Series winner, two-time
Really?
World
You
Series
don't know
champ.
who wrote that in.
I don't like the Cubs,
Yeah,
but
I didn't know that.
a lot of people really like him.
Well,
yeah.
I knew everybody else.
And
Not the
Chris
sports.
Kattan from SNL.
Mango, no.
No,
I will
No.
not dance. No, Mango
Can
will
you
not dance
say
with
to
you.
a babbling brook, hush, be quiet a minute. No, such is the mingle.
That's funny. He should be a trip on that thing. I don't think he's held up that well. When you see pictures of him, you're like, ooh, it's kind of weird looking.
I'm a little torn on who to vote for this season because yes, I do watch and yes, I do vote.
And
Oh,
yes, they
boo.
haven't voted yet, or danced yet, so it should be hard to know who to vote for.
Well, yes, and like I like to go by people's attitudes. Like I
Yes.
like even if they're a great dancer, if they have like a sour attitude, I don't like to vote for them. And then sometimes I like to vote for the wild card that just makes me laugh. I voted for Gary Busey every
Yes.
single week that he was on that show.
You're
And
the problem with that. Like,
I
that guy
do.
should not have been there past round one.
I watched with 3 other girls. We all text each other through it.
Yeah.
And they got so mad at me for voting for Gary Busey.
He
They're like,
dances on a sky of riddles.
he
or-
dances
what
in
was
the
it?
cosmos of
Cosmos.
riddles.
There it is.
Yes.
The cosmos of riddles.
Yes, and that's why you vote him
And
out.
he is, there's something wrong with him, but he
Oh,
was
man.
so funny.
All
Okay.
right. Well, that's enough Simone Biles talk, Gary Busey talk, and Dancing with the Stars talk. I think we got to end this thing here right now. And as always, thank you for being a potty. And if it's not too much trouble and you want to support the shenanigans that we do, wayfm.com is a great way to do that.
Can we actually do a little exclusive for Facebook Live people?
Sure.
Because they've asked why we're in here,
Okay.
and I think it would be cool to show them why. Like, we can just go on a little tour.
Oh, okay.
Is that
Fine.
okay?
Yeah, Becca's out.
No,
Yeah, that's
if
fine.
No one cares.
I'll
Don't
Like-
you have to stay plugged in?
What?
No, we'll
No,
just
we can,
walk around.
we can make it work.
All right.
It's
So you
gonna
can-
it's gonna sound weird because I'm gonna unplug the
Right.
board audio so we can move.
Okay, so Becca, whoever, I don't know, I forget who cuts this. I'm going
Me.
to stop the rolling of this
All right.
and save it.
So we are in the back studio.
They're kind of identical-ish because they're supposed to be something that you can go in either studio and work. And so they look very similar as far as gear goes. But this is the back studio. Ow! That door shocks me every time.
Everything hurts Wally. He's a very fragile
Oh, they
man.
fixed the door. You used to, could not get the door to go down like this. You had to lift up on it. So they fixed the door. That's kind of nice. Or I was just too weak. But we were doing
You've been
foot
working
drive.
out.
So we have the prerequisite streamers attached to the fire extinguisher, which might actually be a fire code violation. I'm not 100% sure. We have a theme going on during Pledge Drive here. WayFM 30th anniversary, a 30th anniversary cruise with For King and Country. And I love that someone put a captain hat on Luke, or on Joel. That's fantastic. And then there's also a big cutout of a bear here for some reason. So that's okay. We have a bear. If you walk over this way, there's a hallway like a cruise ship would be. And this is the heart and soul of Pledge Drive right here. It's the kitchen. This is where you have, they never have snacks during the year like this for us, just so you know. This is only when we do Pledge Drive do they bring in food for us to actually eat and have sustenance. Other than that, we have to bring in our own stuff. So this is abnormal, but wonderful and always appreciated. Our boss went and got a Sonic today for breakfast. That was a nice touch. This thing is a coffee stir, which is also fun to threaten
Frother.
Betty. Frother, yeah. It's also fun to get that stuck in Betty's hair. And then this is our main on-air studio where Justin and Bill are still doing Pledge Drive. So congratulations on that. They picked up where we left off today. But this is where we normally are, yes. So there you go. That's kind of the $2 tour. I will save you the tour of the bathroom. Because Justin's been in there. So there you go.
Alrighty.
And look, we're back.
Where are you guys watching?
I think German compared to other languages.
German sounds so angry.
Cinderella, Cenerentola, Cenicienta, Aschenputtel. Canary, Canario, Canario, Kanarienvogel.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've always thought that German is a very harsh language. My neighbor in Georgia spoke German, and we heard him just yelling, and we're like, what is going on one day? He's, I think fighting, frickin', ducken, dirk, Nowitzki, and yes, and so we come running out, and it turns out he was just telling his son goodbye for school that day. We're like, seriously, dude? Painter, you got to dial that back a bit. Sounds a little hostile.
All right. See you, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Bye.